Good games, nobody watched. All-time record low TV viewership in the history of the World Series. And it's too bad because it was an exciting playoff run. Texas just had too much firepower, a little bit too much experience. Diamondbacks, they thought, ran out of pitching. Rangers' big bats just broke up the pitchers' duels that we saw. Texas, during this course of the season, they had 13 big innings in the whole year. I mean, they were smoking people with the home run ball, and they did the exact same thing to kind of derail Arizona. I think at the end of the day, Diamondbacks understood you can't hold the Ranger lineup down for a full 9 innings. They were no hit into the 7th inning of this last game. Zach Gallen was just dazzling. And then bingo, they got 9 hits in the final 3 innings as they kind of took advantage of the Arizona bullpen. Corey Seager's single started it. He, of course, won the MVP. And all of a sudden, it was single, double, single, and a 1-0 lead. Then the 4-run explosion in the 9th inning, thanks to Marcus Semion's bomb. Nathan Eovaldi, how about true grit? He had guys on base each of the first 5 innings. He was in so much trouble, I didn't think he was going to survive. And then Arizona went 0 for 10 with guys in runners in scoring position in the first 5 innings of that game. How about Bochy? 4th World Series ring. How about Texas, the old Washington Senators? I remember them. You don't. First in 62 years to win a world championship. And I mean, how improbable is this? They go from 101 losses 2 years ago to 11-0 on the road in this postseason. There's 11 straight wins on the road. And man, they had so many good players. It was so cool to see Seager celebrate, see Adolis Garcia become a superstar. How cool was it to see Bochy, Will Venable, Chris Young, Trav Jankowski, Ashby? I mean, it was just really neat. And Nathan Eovaldi won 5 playoff games. Garcia had 8 bombs and 22 ribbies in the series. So Texas earned it. Texas deserved it. Great to see Texas do it because of the Padres Alumni Association. And John Riley from left field thinks
it was a lot of fun. Game 1 was amazing. I mean, the way the Rangers had that big comeback. But, last night's game, if you're an Arizona, a Diamondback fan, you've got to be so frustrated with all the runners they left on base. And Padres Twitter was all lit up saying, that reminds me of our team and the frustration we felt as a fan base. But, Arizona had a great run. Texas was loaded. They paid big money for a lot of frontline pitching for that middle infield. Those guys are mashers. And Bochy just pushed the right buttons. So good on Texas to finally get a World Series championship. Now there's only 5 left that haven't gotten it.
Yeah, and one of them happens to be down the road here at Petco Park. Here's the sidebar question, and we can debate this going through the off season. Was there a better team that could have given Texas a better run in the Fall Classic? Was it Atlanta? Was it the Dodgers? Might it have been the Padres? Is there somebody out there that would have been better than an overwhelmed young Arizona Diamondbacks team?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, because the Phillies were just monsters, and then suddenly they went dark.
Stopped hitting.
Atlanta was rolling in the whole regular season.
Stopped hitting.
The Dodgers, I mean, every one of these teams. But think about the Diamondbacks. They only finished a couple of games ahead of the Padres, and the Padres had a few games against the Diamondbacks that could have gone either way. So, yeah, Arizona just snuck in and got hot at the right time, and you can't fault them for that. But, Philly, LA, Atlanta, all would have been stronger teams, probably would have given Texas a better run for the money, probably would have had higher TV ratings.
Oh, yeah.
But, this is baseball, and this is the way it goes. And, good on Arizona for making it. As a Padre fan, I wish we were the ones that made it to the World Series, even if we lost. But Texas, it was their day. It was their year.
Congrats to the Rangers. How about the old Washington Senators and what they finally accomplished after 62 years?
Well, isn't there 2 iterations of the Senators?
Oh, there was the old Washington Senators that went back to the 1920s.
Yeah.
And then they became the Minnesota Twins.
Right.
Then Major League Baseball, because it was the nation's capital, put a franchise immediately back into D.C., and that was called the Washington Senators also. and they stayed there for a couple of years. They became the Texas Rangers. They yanked that franchise out of there.
That was like in the early 70s, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
And the history book were right. How did you describe Washington Senators baseball? First in war, first in peace, last in the American League. That's coming from somebody who is a baseball junkie who's
Right.
seen a few more curveballs than you
Just
have
a
in
few.
life.
Yeah.
Okay, so not a good World Series in terms of TV ratings. The playoffs were just mystical with the comebacks, the home runs, etc. We go from that.